Okay, guys, hopefully this works at least somewhat seamlessly. I will try to make an analysis for your map. This map got caught like rather early, not even so. Like it reached a bit past the early cuts in the TeamLiquid Map Contest 9 submission, but it didn't manage to reach the finalist. Well, my first the very reason why I'm making this video is because the map itself, it is a very interesting concept of a map. It takes as you can see, for example, the base in the back that is taken almost squarely from Blood Boil, and it adds a back door entrance to your back base, and it has a rather standard-ish unquote third base at the front, kind of like Dusk Towers, which will be like the most known map that has this for ladder. But it also it does it like well enough. But I don't consider that is like enough for the map to like reach ladder and to be played at a high level for like 6 months, right? It is way too extreme in certain degrees. Like the first thing that we need to look is split the map into split map scenarios, which will look something like this. And you have at the north side, you have the red player, and the south, the blue player. And in this case, the split scenario almost clearly shows that the base in the back will be almost a contested base, alongside, for example, the gold bases and maybe this base at what is that, like 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock. And those bases in the back are like basically one of the keys why I don't consider this map to be stable enough for ladder. Like, unlike, for example, Blood Boil that had the mineral thing, the very reason why Blood Boil used the 8 patches, I'm not sure, it's like 10, the 10 patches in the back bases was because Avex wasn't allowed to use the rich casers, and that caused like a whole series of issues in the entire map. But for this map, like, unless we are allowed basically to use rich Bespin geysers, I don't think that this is like a good option to have 10 mineral patches instead of the 8 standard, because we already are dealing with issues regarding the expansion rates of players because of worker pairing and all the economy things. Like, we don't really want players to expand more, unquote, but because of this, you are going against that. You are giving players more resources, and they need a huge amount of workers to mine those resources, which at the same time bite into the amount of workers they can have to expand into another base. It is a very tricky subject, of course, but just because of that, just because talking about just the amount of workers that are required in order to do this, I think it goes against like the idea of having players want to expand more and having like more action in the game. Like, for you also end up having like some rather questionable decisions. For example, you can see in the overview that the back base has like some a droppable edge where Terran can like abuse this to no end, unless of course that Protoss can like put some cannons. But who does that? The other very reason why I consider this map to be like it is not a bad map. I need to get that clear out. I don't consider this to be a bad map. It has some questionable decisions, like, for example, this entire area where there are like very awkward fighting area with the rocks and such. I know that he did, for example, Broodie, you did this in order to like spice up the map, and that is not a bad thing per se, but it doesn't merge, it doesn't meld with the rest of the layout that you have going on here. I can't really give you like a way to fix it because I don't know. I will have to put like a huge amount of thought into make this. And it is not my map to do it, nor do I have the time. But it is. I'm sorry for the dogs. It is not a bad map per se, as I said, but it has, for example, this issue with the back base. If the also regarding going back to the split map scenario, in the later stages of the game, and even not so much, you will have the rocks will basically always be taken down because they are 2000 HP rocks. Like if those rocks had considerably more HP, like 6000 or 8000, and or something else to make an squad of marauders or hydralisks to make it harder to attack the back base and in that case stream it to the main. I think I will like the map more, but because we are simply not allowed to change the XP of the rocks or add a mineral wall because of Blizzard rules, that doesn't makes me not like, but it doesn't make me give it a higher like rating to the map itself. There is also the issue with the gold bases, which probably are even when they have like a single gas, and that is like very good on quotes for example Zerg to stop them from taking that base so early. I'm not sure if that is like enough. In the position where it is still like a considerable amount of income for a Zerg player to take in the early game. And even when they lack the gas to transition into like Mutalisks or something like whatever past the early stages, it makes me kind of icky. The base would probably need to be changed into a blue base. The going also as well, going around talking about the gold base and the standard, the army positioning in order, for example, to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases each, will have to be around this area of the map. But at the same time, the enemy army will also need to be around here. And the distance between the armies, like, it is bound to create a huge amount of conflict. And you end up with the scenarios where you also have circle syndrome, at least to a very certain degree. And even when like the Koreans mappers, for example, enjoy at least like up to 2014 and such, enjoy terribly to make maps with circle syndrome because they create more action in the game. I don't think that the layout and it is laid out in such a way to allow such a strong circle syndrome in the mid-ish to early late game scenarios. It is a fine map. I like it actually. But it has like a huge amount of good ideas, but I don't think that they are like welded into a solid thing. Yeah, also, for example, we're at the edges of maybe having stalkers buffed, and I don't know at this time. Maybe like Blink Stalker Saline might come back. Maybe I don't know. With the stronger tanks, it's probably not. But even then, it is a risk that when judging, one needs to like weight this kind of things. And as such, it makes this edge like around the gold base like very tricky to me to say yes for this map specifically. It also has like several things that were added in order to like spice up the map some more. For example, this area of here is a pathway, a very choky pathway, but yeah, like it adds to the map for sure, but I don't think that is strictly necessary. And in this area where it's already everything is like very choky, I don't think that you need to add more chokes to it. Same, for example, in the center, with it has like three very small pathways. They are cool, like for sure, but I think that the entire center will probably need to be reworked at least to a very considerable degree in order to allow for more openness, especially for like big late game fights and such. Yeah, that's basically it. In order to like reduce the entire thing, it is not a bad map. I am not sold on the bases at the back at all. I don't think that they work. I think that they go against like the idea of having a map in this way because you delay the expansion of the players, the amount of expansion into like into the mid game or late game scenarios. I'm sorry for the dogs again. Okay, continuing on. I'm not sold on the back bases. I am not sold on this area around the like the 2 o'clock and the 7 o'clock. I am not sold on the gold bases. I am not sold on the like tricky, cute little pathways and such. The cliff here seems like questionable, especially going forward into Legacy of the Void with the new changes. Given that the back base has the 2000 XP rocks, I consider that it would be better if the third also could like play out as a natural. And because of that, the natural doesn't give way to actually do that because it is too exposed, like considerably. Like if this base, if the back base were to be turned into a basically a 6 mineral patches with a 1 rich pink guys that in my mind will be like kind of the ideal, then the natural base will also need to be standardized in order to be more takeable as a natural base. But the ramp it is way too open in order to allow that. This back passage in order for the 2 o'clock base to like, go into the base, it is probably questionable. I'm not sure because in case of an attack, it can be used to like get the drones away or the workers away. But I think that this amount of space could have been better put to better use, like somewhere else, like try to redesign this entire side of the map. But even then, this iteration of the beneath, I don't consider it to be like horrible, or because it isn't. I don't see it as that way. I just see it like it has like several ideas that are probably good to a certain degree. Like maybe some of them like were screwed because we can't change the backdoor rocks to have a higher HP because of Blizzard rules, and that kind of screws up the entire concept to that area. But even then, has like several cute tricksy things. But I think that all of those ideas will like better split into like other maps which had like try to make a single idea but like make it good, something like that, or two, but not like so many of them. It's not a bad map. I actually really liked it. I voted like maybe for it, but I don't consider that it is ready for ladder. Yeah, this has been the review for the TeamLiquid Map Contest 9 for the Beneath, a map that almost quite didn't reach the TeamLiquid